Alright, live on YouTube, live on Rumble. Good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, of course, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching us, whether it's live or at some other point in the space-time continuum is irrelevant of you as a view. Today is Moon's Day, aka Monday. Right? It's Monday?
Monday, yes.
Alright, February 23rd, 2026. This show is about interesting and important events that occurred today throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with, in the year 303, Roman Emperor Diocletian ordered the destruction of the Christian church in Nicomedia, beginning 8 years of Diocletianic persecution. Yeah? You know, some say that Christianity is the most persecuted religion in history, and, you know, I would say... It's up there, you know. I mean, like,
well, could be.
Yeah. In 532, Byzantine Emperor Justinian I laid the foundation stone of a new Orthodox Christian basilica in Constantinople, the Hagia Sophia. And it's this one. You should recognize this one. This is famous. This is in Constantinople, or now Istanbul, in Turkey.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's now a Muslim synagogue, but it was a Christian church at one point. 628, Khrushchev II, Shah, the last Sasanian Shah of Iran, was overthrown. 705, Empress Wu Zetian abdicated the throne, restoring the Tang dynasty. 1349. Oh, now we're in the actual primary articles. All that stuff was from the secondary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this starts in 1349 in the primary source. Jews were expelled from Zurich, Switzerland, on suspicion of poisoning wells. More of this.
Wow. Oh,
so,
wow. 1340?
1349, yeah. Well, like, we've covered at least 4 or 5 different articles talking about Jews being burnt for causing the bubonic plague, poisoning wells, doing this, doing that. So this is like the 5th or 6th instance of Jews getting persecuted for poisoning wells, and, I mean, like... You know, like, history is remarkable, but, like, I just sit here and I think, like, the amount of times they were accused, there must have been at least once where it was true, but at the same time, it's just like, well, all it takes is one bad apple to spoil the bunch,
right.
And if somebody just made that up, then it could be, like, a continuous thing used, like, you know, oh, blah, blah, they're poisoning the wells, again.
Who would
you
poison the well unless you're at war with somebody or something? It makes no sense.
Well, then there's also the aspect of Jews, you know, in their belief they are God's chosen people, and everyone else, the Goyim, the Gentiles, are here as subservient beings to be servants to them. So, I don't know. Anyway, 1455, Johannes Gutenberg printed his first Bible. This is the estimated date. This is traditionally the date of publication of the Gutenberg Bible, the first Western book printed with movable type, inventor Johannes Gutenberg.
Wow.
All right, here we go.
Movable type.
Yeah. So I guess movable type is in, you can, like, set it differently to print different stuff. Yeah. 1540, Francisco Vasquez de Coronado's expedition set off from Mexico in search of the 7 cities of gold, Cibola. Explorer and conquistador Francisco Vasquez de Coronado's expedition set off from Mexico, yada, yada. 1574, France began the 5th Holy War against the Huguenots. Wow. 1668, a fire in the Hofburg in Vienna, Emperor Leopold I was rescued. So,
what was the fire in?
It was the Hofburg in Vienna.
Oh.
I don't know what the Hofburg is, so apparently the Emperor was there and he got rescued, so that's good, I guess. 1672, Jean Blajou's publishing house was destroyed by a fire in Amsterdam, so more fires. 1763, the first major slave rebellion in South America began, the Berbice Uprising in the Dutch colony of Bernice. This is now modern Guyana, by slaves protesting conditions.
Would that be Guyana?
Guyana, Guyana?
I guess.
Guyana?
That's what it is.
Okay. The Berbice slave uprising in Guyana, the first major slave revolt in South America. 1778, Baron von Steuben joined the Continental Army at Valley Forge. During the American Revolutionary War, Baron von Steubenberg arrived at Valley Forge in Pennsylvania to help train the Continental Army. All right.
Okay.
1782, engineer James Watt's patent for a rotary motion for the steam engine, his sun and planet gear, was granted. All right. A rotary or rollative, and yeah, here it is. And if I bigger this, it actually gives a diagram. A is steam cylinder, B is steam pipe, C is throttle valve. It looks like a pump jack. of sorts.
So I would imagine which is, I don't think it's used very much today, but not too many years ago they were making a big deal out of the rotary engine. It's got to be the same concept as that.
I would presume so, yes, because it's probably the same thing, with pistons and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
anyway, 1792, the Humane Society of Massachusetts incorporated to establish life-saving stations for distressed mariners. 1800s, now 1813, the first U.S. raw cotton to cloth mill was founded in Waltham, Massachusetts.
The cotton mill, huh?
Yeah,
The
cotton to
cotton
cloth. No, cotton to cloth mill.
Oh, okay.
So, it's, I guess, a processing facility.
Yeah.
Not the cotton gin. This
Right.
is not separating the cotton from whatever.
Right.
1820, Caddo Street conspiracy was uncovered. It was an attempt to murder British Prime Minister Earl of Liverpool and government ministers. It was exposed and the conspirators were arrested. Oh, we haven't even gotten to this one yet. Hold on a second. I'm trying to... It's difficult with two sources and my eyes.
Yeah.
I'm not a chameleon. 1821, College of Apothecaries was organized in Philadelphia, the first U.S. pharmacy college.
Oh.
Yeah. 1822, Boston was incorporated as a city, receiving the first city charter in Massachusetts. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Boston. 1836, the Alamo was besieged for 13 days until March 6th by the Mexican army under General Santa Anna. The entire garrison was eventually killed, including Jim Bowie. Jim Bowie? Yeah. I'm trying not to...
A lot of great historians were killed.
Wasn't Jim Bowie the musician? Or who is that?
No, he was a frontiers guy.
Yeah, but wasn't there somebody Bowie?
David Bowie?
David Bowie. Okay, never mind.
That's recent times.
Yeah. I was just trying. I was mixing up my Bowies. And then of course, oh, frick, what was his name? Oh, help me. He was a congressman and everything. Davy Crockett.
Oh, Dave. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about this in about 13 days, maybe intermittentary. But anyway, 1847, Battle of Buena Vista in Mexico. Zachary Taylor led mostly volunteer troops against a larger Mexican army. The Mexico retreated. Both sides claimed victory. All right. And it was another Lopez de Santa Anna. So, So this was this must have been after he was returned to Mexico. Because, or maybe, I don't know. I'm going to have to learn my Texas Mexican history and all that stuff, because I do know that shortly after the Alamo, maybe this was it. No, it wasn't Zachary Taylor. It was Sam Houston, because if the more recent Alamo movie, it depicts this, after the fall of the Alamo, Santa Anna's forces kept, doing whatever they were doing, and then they were, annihilated by Sam Houston in like a Napoleon style type thing, but like treating Santa Anna as Napoleon because he believed he was the Napoleon of the West. So he basically lured Santa Anna to his own Waterloo when they were decimated, and instead of killing him, they gave him back to Mexico in turn for Texas. And then that's when Texas became their own republic, and then eventually they joined the United States. They joined the Confederacy.
They traded Santa Anna for Texas?
Yes.
Why would they do that?
Because Texas was still a frontier. It was still part of Mexico.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really part of the state. They wanted to be their own thing. So they're like, okay, we'll give you that for all this land. This is ours now.
Yeah.
So.
No, I get all that.
Yeah.
I don't know why Mexico would want Santa Anna back so bad.
Well, he was the president.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Which, think what you want about Santa Anna, but I have to give credit where credit is due. Kudos for a leader of a nation to go to the front lines and fight with the very people he sends off to kill.
True. Another Patton type.
Well, he was more than Patton. He was the leader. He was the president, the leader of Mexico. And he wasn't just a general. He was the president of Mexico. And he went out there and got his ass freaking captured.
That.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, no, he was the guy. 1861, President-elect Abraham Lincoln arrived secretly in Washington, D.C. after the thwarting of an alleged assassination plot in Baltimore, Maryland. 1870, Mississippi was readmitted to the U.S. after the Civil War. During the Reconstruction era, post-U.S. Civil War, military control of Mississippi ceased, and the state was readmitted into the Union. All right. 1874, Major Walter Clopton Wingfield patented a game he called Harrier Strike, now known as lawn tennis. Oh, and I gotta catch up with things. This is the Alamo.
Way back,
yeah, well, not way back.
No.
But here it is. So I'm already caught up here, and this is a rather interesting pose he has here. So, 1883, Alabama became the first U.S. state to enact an antitrust law. 1883 as well, the American Anti-Vivisection Society was organized in Philadelphia. What is a vivisection?
I don't know.
It sounds like some medical procedure, and I'm a little concerned to look this up here. Vivisection. Okay, it's something to do with cutting something. I just saw an animal with its guts hanging out. So, 1886, aluminum manufacturing process was developed. After multiple years of work, Charles Martin Hall, with his sister Julia Brainerd Hall assisting, produced the first samples of aluminum from the electrolysis of aluminum oxide. All right.
That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I was just watching a video earlier today about how stainless steel was an accidental invention.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and could you imagine a world without stainless steel? You know, like metal sinks, medical tools, forks, knives.
I have stainless anodes.
Yeah. Could you imagine a world without all that?
Yeah.
That's wild. 1886, the Times of London newspaper published the world's first classified ad. All right. 1 year later, the French-Italian Riviera was struck by an earthquake, causing the deaths of around 2,000 people. 1892, the first college student government formed at Bryn Mawr in Pennsylvania. All right. Because that's what the students need to do, is start dabbling in politics. 1896, a Tootsie Roll was introduced by Leo Hirschfield.
Hey!
Yeah, Tootsie Roll. Look at that.
Mom loved Tootsie Rolls.
They're
I'm
okay.
Not a big fan.
But, I didn't like their chewiness, and they just didn't taste right. They tasted weird.
First off, the chewiness, you're 100% right. Hated that.
I didn't mind that, but it was just...
And then there was not that much of a taste to it that I thought was...
Yeah. Well, I guess it's more for, people before we got used to all this processed crap, sugar and everything, the saying goes, if you go back even just 50 years and give somebody a modern-day Dorito, they would lose their minds. Because just the flavor, alone, they've never experienced anything like that. Today, it's just... whatever, it's just a chip, whatever,
Yeah.
Go back 50 years with the stuff we have today, they'll lose their shit. All that process, all that flavor.
If you go back in the original potato chip, same thing, and you get one of those that was done in that lard or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They are good.
Mm.
But, man, they're not good for you.
No. 1898, Émile Zola was imprisoned in France for writing his J'accuse letter, which accused the government of anti-Semitism and of wrongfully jailing Alfred Dreyfus. So this is the whole Dreyfus affair. I talked with you about this. The Dreyfus affair itself was somewhere around 12 years long, and it's because this guy here, Alfred Dreyfus, he got caught up in something. I don't know much, but he was apparently a Jew. And then it sparked a whole controversy. Oh, you're doing this to him because he's a Jew. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And it was a 12-year, in madness. So, yeah.
I wonder if the Dreyfus, the actor, is any relation back that far.
No idea. 1903, the Sultan agreed to an Austro-Russian plan to reform the government of Macedonia in yet another effort to stifle the rising disorder among the rural Bulgarian. Or the rival Bulgarian. Okay. We also have the U.S. and Cuba signed an agreement by which Cuba released Guantanamo and Bahia Hondo to the U.S. for naval stations in perpetuity.
Forever.
Yes. And it's telling me to image search this, so I'm going to do so. Images. Bigger that. So, yeah. It says here, open images. Is this going to give me... No. Okay. Well, it says here, the Treaty of Paris granted full independence to Cuba. The U.S. signed an agreement with Cuba known as the Platt Amendment in 1903. I believe we just read about that. Mm-hmm. Key features of Platt included the right of the U.S. to maintain naval stations on the island and the right to intervene in Cuban affairs. Cuba had become a protectorate of the U.S. Now they're not, but we still have Guantanamo Bay. It's so, the whole Cuba thing, it's so bizarre. Like, you know,
In what
throughout
way?
all of history. Well, even the Cuban Missile Crisis, we still had G-Bay there. Like,
G-Bay? What's G-Bay?
Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, yeah.
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 It's just why didn't we just, you know, like invade Cuba from there? Why did we do the Bay of Pigs? Like,
Well, that was an invasion. We got creamed.
yeah.
We went in to get rid of Castro.
Yeah, but why not, you know, like load up from Guantanamo Bay?
I don't know.
That's why I'm saying, like, we have land there, you know, it's ours. Like, and then we try to establish a beachhead elsewhere. We already have land. Like, I don't know. 904, Fiordland National Park in New Zealand was created, home to the Milford Track and at least 4,600 square miles or 12,000 square kilometers. One of the world's largest, I guess, of land or something.
Yeah,
but this is an image of it. Look at that.
Yeah, gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Just go back to Guantanamo Bay for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
That was not an official U.S. government attack on Cuba. That
Well-
was an independence.
Well, yeah, we
which
backed
we
it.
said we
Yeah.
did back it, but we really didn't. Wink, wink. You know. But,
Yeah, no, I know. What I'm just saying is why.
No, I know what
why
you're saying.
navally invade the hard way when you already have, like, okay, you know, just bring. I mean, you know, yeah, the Cubans are going to see ships of men and equipment coming in, but you know, until you open that gate, what are they going to do? Like, you know, run at your walls and get mowed down? You already have a beachhead. Use it.
Well, you don't know what you really have there. I don't know what the size of Guantanamo Bay is or anything.
It's a large base. I mean, anyway, 1904, having occupied Korea, Japan signed a treaty with Korea, under which it became a Japanese protector in return for Japanese protection from other powers. Okay. We also have the U.S. acquired control of the Panama Canal Zone for $10 million. All right. So now it's ours. 1 year later, the fifth.
Well, we gave it back to them.
Eventually, yeah. Well, I think we still own the waters, but they own the land. There's a split. There's a distinction. Like they own the land, but the waters is still our jurisdiction, or something like that.
There can't be a foreign power come in and do what China did. They operated each end of the Panama Canal, and we said no.
Oh yeah, no, that's
Get out of here.
Yeah.
So there is a free right to get through that you can't have a foreign country in there operating it.
Well, I
don't know about the water, so I have no idea.
You know what? Let's look. Does the U.S. own the rights to the Panama Canal terms? Let's see. Who operates the Panama Canal and who sold it? Okay, this is going to be a whole
And
thing.
actually, Trump threatened to take it back over if they didn't get rid of the Chinese running it. Of course, they got rid of them immediately, which they should have because they weren't living up to their agreement.
Why doesn't the U.S. control the canal anymore? Okay, yada yada. The first, which controls perpetuity, gives the U.S. the right to act to ensure the canal remains open and secure. The second stated, okay, yada yada. Both were signed in '77. I'm just trying to figure out, why does Trump want to regain control?
Well, he didn't like the Chinese operating it.
Well, absolutely.
So that was his negotiating thing. He'll take it back if they don't get rid of it because they're not living up to the agreement.
Well, I'm without some digging, I'm not going to find.
I don't say he wanted to take it back. He wanted to get rid of the Chinese.
Yeah. Well, like, I'm still under the impression that, like, the canal land
It may be.
is under, you know, it's the
Yeah.
land itself is Panama's.
For sure,
But the
that's
water
right.
itself is U.S. water.
That I have no idea.
Well,
It may be.
Maybe. But anyway, 1905, the first Rotary Club was formed by 4 men in the Unity Building in Chicago, the world's first service club. So it says here, Chicago attorney Paul Harris and 3 other businessmen met for lunch to form the Rotary Club, the world's first service club, like AAA or something.
Yeah.
Okay. 906, Tommy Burns beat Marvin Hart in 20 rounds for heavyweight boxing title. Yeah, wow. 909, the AEA Silver Dart made the first powered flight in Canada and the British Empire. And here's a photo of that bird. So yeah. 1910, the first radio contest was held in Philadelphia. 1915, Nevada reduced residency requirement for divorces from 1 year to 6 months. Okay. 1918, the first victory of the Red Army over the Kaiser's German troops near Narva and Pushkov since 1923. This date became the Day of the Red Army in honor of this victory. All right. 1919, the Fascist Party was formed in Italy by Benito Mussolini. Yep, an inspiration for Crazy Mustache Man from Austria, you know. So, Dark day indeed. 1920. A little interesting actually how it's the next calendar dates. Like not like in the same year, but yesterday was the Communist Manifesto. So a little interesting.
Yeah.
1921, the first U.S. transcontinental airmail flight service arrived in New York City from San Francisco. 1923, German Republic Day with laws against worker. One worker? It just says worker. Not workers.
Should have an S on the end of that.
Yeah. Well, see, this is what I'm saying.
Even that, I don't know what it is.
Well, what's interesting, because see,
maybe they don't no longer give the workers the right to strike, something like that. That'd be against them.
But see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's obvious that they're actively doing things on a daily basis on this website. I catch them in the act multiple times every day. And I remember this from last year, or maybe 2 years ago. Like, I remember covering this way back in the Alice days, and we were going off about against worker. One worker, what did he do? Like, so
someone left the S off. I don't know what that is anything other than
well, what's weird is that
typo.
Over at least 1 year or many, this has not been fixed. But they have gone in and changed in articles, changed the wording, in ways to push certain agendas and mentalities. But they don't go in and fix this. It just boggles my mind.
It just bugs me. They don't tell you enough. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Put an S on there. I don't care.
Yeah.
But what does it mean?
Yeah. And I have two sources. I couldn't find anything else. So anyway, 1923 as well, Great Britain lowered import duty on German products from 26% to 5%. Wow. Yeah. That's incredible. 27th, U.S. President Calvin Coolidge created the Federal Radio Commission, FRC. He signed a bill by Congress establishing the FRC, later replaced by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, which was to regulate the use of radio frequencies in the United States. 27, German theoretical physicist Werner Heisenberg wrote a letter to fellow physicist Wolfgang Pauli, in which he described his uncertainty principle for the first time. And I want to look this up, the uncertainty principle.
Uncertainty.
I want to look up that specifically.
I'm uncertain about a lot of stuff.
And I believe this is the Heisenberg that Walter White used, because he's a physicist, so if you know anything about Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, could you turn that lamp on, please? The uncertainty principle, also known as Heisenberg's indeterminacy principle, is a fundamental concept of quantum mechanics. It states that there is a limit to the precision with which certain parts of physical properties, such as position and momentum, can be simultaneously known. In other words, the more accurately one property is measured, the less accurately the other property can be known. So it's a balancing thing. Interesting. 1936, the first rocket airmail flight, Greenwood Lake, New York. I think I've spoken about this with you. And actually, I'm gonna add this in the underbar section. Uncertainty principle. Oops, wrong button. So hold on a second. Where did it go? Uncertainty principle. Go. Come on. There we go. Okay. What were we looking at? Rocket airmail flights. So that. There we go. All right. Greenwood Lake scrapbook rocket flight. But do you remember me talking with you about this?
No.
They literally, and this is first American rocket airplane flights, but this is for mail. So they fill this full of mail.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And they just launch it.
Yeah, I do remember.
So.
Yeah.
1940, Walt Disney's animated movie Pinocchio was released.
Oh,
all right. 41, plutonium was first produced and isolated by U.S. chemist Glenn T. Seaborg at Berkeley. 42, Japanese submarine fired on oil refinery in Elwood, California. They fired artillery shells at the coastline near Santa Barbara.
Jeez.
Huh. It's kind of funny. 1943, the Cavan orphanage fire caused the deaths of 35 girls and an elderly cook. That is very unfortunate there. Yeah. 1944, the forced deportation of the Chechnyan and English people in Central Asia the Soviet Union began the forced deportation of those people from the North Caucasus to Central Asia. So those Ruskies, were not doing good stuff back in those times either. 45, U.S. Marines raised the flag of the United States on top of Mount Suribachi, Iwo Jima. Pulitzer Prize-winning photo by Joe Rosenthal later became iconic, inspiring the Marine Corps War Memorial sculpture, which...
This is the day they did it.
Yes, this is when it went up, and I have got to play this one section, Sands of Iwo Jima.
You didn't have a picture of it?
No. But I have a story for it here. I'm just going to play this one section here.
There she goes.
Semper Fi, Marines. Hoorah. Yeah, before I get copyright strike, Sands of Iwo Jima, a great movie, but personal story. I remember we went to Arlington. Mm-hmm. We went over to Washington, and then New York and everything. We went to Arlington, and I really wanted to see that statue because it's usually always over there.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
And we never got to the Marine section. I was really disappointed and borderline mad because I really wanted to see it. And we got to New York, and we just so happened to go into the aircraft carrier museum that they have. It was on loan over there.
Yeah.
I got to see it. It was so good. It was an act of God.
I remember that.
I must have manifested. I wanted to see it so bad that I teleported it through time and space into New York. Anyway, 1945, during World War II, the 11th Airborne Division with Filipino guerrillas freed all 2,147 captors of the Los Baños internment camp in what General Colin Powell would later refer to as, quote, the textbook airborne operation for all ages and all armies, end quote. So it must have been an incredible success.
Yeah.
1945 as well, during World War II, the German town of Pavorzem was annihilated in a raid by 379 British bombers. The capital of the Philippines, Manila, was liberated by combined Filipino and American forces. And 47, U.S. General Eisenhower opened a drive to raise $170 million in aid for European Jews. 47 as well, the International Organization for Standardization was founded. It sounds like a bunch of malarkey there. 54, the first mass inoculation against polio with the Jonas Salk vaccine took place at Arsenal Elementary School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I remember this little picture last year, or 2 years ago.
Anything about polio, they have this image. It's a standard, terrifying. 1958, the 5-time F1 World Drivers' Champion Juan Manuel Fangio was kidnapped by Cuban rebels from Fidel Castro's 26th of July movement. He was released soon after Cuban GP. Oh, the Grand Prix. Oh, he was released the following day after the race. So I guess they kidnapped him to prevent him from winning or something. 1958, last municipal arc light at Mission and 25th was removed in San Francisco. It was installed back in 1913. Now, if this is what I think it is, what an arc light is, okay, well, this is not correct. Hold on a second. Arc light. Let's look this up here. Oh, okay, so I guess it was some other type of light, and I don't know. I thought it was that one that was like the really, really tall one, very bright, like rather than like many streetlights, they have one large light on a pole that illuminated entire swaths of the neighborhood. Yeah. There's still a couple of those like randomly around. So, and speaking of randomly around, let's see if I have any randomly around comments here. Nope, doesn't look like it. 1960. Demolition began on Brooklyn's Ebbs Field. It was opened in 1913.
Yeah. Dodgers.
Yeah. 1963, Italian tenor Luciano Pavarotti made his debut at the Vienna State Opera in Giuseppe Verdi's La Traviata. All right. 1967, 25th Amendment, the U.S. presidential succession was adopted. Didn't we talk about that yesterday or something? It was. I guess it wasn't adopted until much later. U.S. presidential succession.
I don't know what that is.
Well, what happens if the president dies? Then the vice president. Yes.
But I don't know in what context we did. We did talk about it. Yes.
Well, it says here the 25th Amendment. And in
Was adopted.
parentheses,
Maybe it was
U.S.
introduced. We talked about it being introduced. Who
Yes.
knows?
Yes.
That's the concept I don't know.
Yes. 1968, Will Chamberlain became the first NBA player to score 25,000 points. All right.
Oh, yeah.
69, 11th Daytona 500, Leroy Yarborough, driving for Junior Johnson, caught Charlie Glossback on his final lap to win. First Daytona 500 won on a last lap pass. Nice. 1970, Guyana became a republic, their national day. We spoke about Guyana earlier, didn't we? Or something. Guyana.
Yeah.
Guyana.
Guyana.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
1970 as well, Holy Eucharist was given by women for the first time in Roman Catholic service. Epic. 71, George Harrison was fined for speeding and his driving license was suspended for 1 year. All right. 71 as well, Operation Lamb Sun, 719. South Vietnamese General Do Cao Tri was killed in a helicopter crash while en route to take control of the faltering campaign. Whoops. So I guess, no, you're going to not take control of that faltering campaign. 74, in response to the energy crisis, daylight saving time commenced nearly 2 months early in the United States.
I remember that.
Yeah. 76, final meeting between Chinese Communist Party Chairman Mao Zedong and U.S. President Richard Nixon in Beijing, China. It says here, former U.S., so I guess he was former. Interesting. Didn't know if that was an error on my behalf. 78th, the 20th Grammy Awards. Hotel California by the Eagles. Fleetwood Mac, Debbie Boone won. Hotel California. You know, one of my absolute favorite songs because it is so true to California. 1970, U.S. speed skater Eric Hayden won the Olympic 10,000 meters in a world record 14 minutes, 28.13 seconds. Swept all 5 skating events at Lake Placid, the only athlete to win 5 gold medals at 1 winter game.
This year, somebody won 3.
Not quite 5, though.
No.
So.
Hayden said he, I guess he was interviewed or something. I didn't see it, but I guess he said he thinks he was a better skater. This year's guy was a better skater than he was.
Well, where's his 5 gold medals? 1981, Tejerezo, a Spanish coup led by Civil Guard officer Lieutenant Colonel Antonio Tierra Molina, failed after a televised speech by King Juan Carlos I. So I guess talking does solve problems. 1983, the United States Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA, announced their intent to buy out and excavate the dioxin-contaminated community of Times Beach, Missouri. But did they? Is the question.
Good question.
1985, Indiana University basketball coach Bob Knight threw a chair onto the court during a game.
A big stink.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, you can damage
a bit of a temper.
Damage the floor, you know.
I don't know how kids played for him.
Yeah.
He won a lot. I guess that's how he got him there.
Yeah. 1987, supernova 1987A in LMC was first seen. This is the first naked eye supernova since 1604. Seen in the large Magellanic cloud. I don't know how to pronounce that word.
I don't even know what it is.
It's a stellar cluster or whatever. It's a cloud of gas or something. I don't know. 1988, Chicago gave Cubs the right to install lights and play up to 18 night games. Okay. We also have Saddam Hussein began the Anfal genocide against Kurds and Assyrians in northern Iraq. That is not nice.
No, that was miserable.
No, you know.
Gassed him.
Yeah, that's disgusting. 91, The Doors, film directed by Oliver Stone and starring Val Kilmer and Meg Ryan, premiered in Los Angeles, California.
That was a good movie.
Oh, okay. I figured that you know something about it.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of acquaintances with those
A bit.
guys. Yeah. 91, U.S. President George Herbert Walker Bush gave Iraq a 24-hour deadline to withdraw from Kuwait or face a ground war, in which, the latter happened. 92, the Socialist Labor Party was founded on the Eastern European country of Georgia, or in that country. 93, I forgot about this one. 92, the 16th Winter Olympic Games closed in Albertville, France. 93, Gary Coleman won a $1,280,000 lawsuit against his parents for high fees.
Oh, jeez. That was that little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you talking about,
In
Willis?
other words, his parents were ripping him off.
Yeah.
They were living off of him.
Yeah. I guess you can see they were shortchanging him.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. I guess that was a low blow.
I don't think he's alive.
No, he died. So, rest in peace. I'm taking the piss out of this poor guy. 93, India completed a 3-0 series drubbing of England. That has to be cricket.
Has to be.
95, Dow Jones Industrial Average closed above 4,000 for the first time at 4,003.33. 97, Ali Abu Kamal opened fire in Empire State Building, killing 1. 97 as well, NBC TV showed Schindler's List, completely uncensored and without commercial interruptions. 65 million people watched. I still gotta watch that movie.
I haven't seen that either, I don't think.
Wow. I am an uncultured bastard. 1998, Osama bin Laden published a fatwa declaring jihad against all Jews and Crusaders, of course. And then we have, you know what, I want to read this one here, just because the primary source was edited. 1998. Now it says tornadoes in Florida kill at least 31. Okay? It used to say in the United States, tornadoes in Central Florida caused the deaths of 42 people and it destroyed or damaged 2,600 structures. Why did they reduce that so much, and why couldn't they change workers to workers? Well, they skipped the S, but they did all this. Nah! 98, U.S. Supreme Court lets Megan's Law stand. It's a law for sex offenders' information. I agree. You know, if you do something horrible, you know, everything that you do should be publicly known.
Is that what Megan's Law is?
Well, that's what it says here, sex offenders' information. So, you know, if you are on that list...
I've heard of Megan's Law because of some incident, but I don't know really what the law is.
Well, I do know that you can look up where SAs are living, because they have to have it publicly information. You know, they can't be, well, depending on their crimes, it can't be within, you know, certain things, you know, and all that stuff. But no, like, you know, I can literally right now go online and find every person registered. There's actually an alarming amount last time I looked. There's like a lot of essays around the area. It's kind of scary. 1990, or actually 2000, in the year 2002, the sky disk of Nebra, the world's oldest map of the stars at 3,600 years old, was recovered in a police sting operation in Basel, Switzerland, after being illegally excavated in Germany. Wow! What a find! Good job!
I'm curious how accurate that was.
Yeah. You know,
No way to know.
Yeah, true. I mean, that's going to require some digging. I just want to see what this looks... Oh, wow. Look at that thing. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
2005, Slovakia Summit 2005 began. George W. Bush and Russian President Vladimir Putin attend. It was the first visit of a sitting U.S. president to Slovakia. I'm wondering, no, they don't have... They don't have that thing. Why do they not highlight this? Who the hell cares about Christina Aguilera and Norah Jones? I want, you know, like, highlight this thing, man.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Why is this the cream in the Oreo? It's bullshit.
Because popular women or men, for that matter, draw you to the site. They see that and they want to see what it says.
Doesn't draw me.
No, me neither. No, I agree.
2005, vote of the controversial French law on colonialism repealed start of 2006. So it's something to do with colonialism, and that's like we put the kibosh on colonies after World War II, even though we still have colonies to this day. 2006, Dubai Ports World agreed to postpone its plans to take over management of 6 U.S. ports after the proposal ignited harsh bipartisan criticism on Capitol Hill. 1 year later, the train derailed on the Evening Express service near Garrigue, Cumbria, England, killing 1 person and injuring 22. This resulted in hundreds of points being checked over the UK after a few similar accidents. 2007, Japan launched its Force 5 satellite, stepping up its ability to monitor potential threats such as North Korea and us. 2008, a B-2 Spirit of the U.S. United States Air Force crashed at Guam. The crew survived, but the aircraft was written off. It was the most expensive air crash in human history. The aircraft alone cost $1.2 billion. The B-2 had a perfect safety record before the crash. Not one B-2 has ever crashed until now. So it was the first operational loss of a B-2 occurred when they crashed. That's awful. That's a loss. That's a terrible loss. 2010, unknown criminals poured more than 2.5 million liters of diesel oil and other hydrocarbons into the river Lambro in northern Italy, causing an environmental disaster. I hope they were found and skinned alive. and freaking lemon juice poured.
So they were just dumping.
Yeah, pieces of crap. 2014, a pro-Euromaidan rally was held in Simferopol, Ukraine. While in Kirk, protesters attempted to replace the Ukrainian flag from the city hall with a Russian flag. Holy crap, dude. 2014, the 22nd Winter Olympic Games closed in Sochi, Russia. 2018, a study suggests earliest European Paleolithic artwork in Spain was made by Neanderthals, not humans, in the Science Journal. We covered that yesterday. 2019, clashes on Venezuelan border killed 2 as its country's officials tried to stop aid from getting in. That's not good.
No.
You know you're in a world of hurt when you're just like, you know what, just don't even try. Just let us die, please. 2019, Roy Hodgson overtook Sir Bobby Robson as the oldest man to manage a Premier League football club when he hit 71 years, 198 days. His Crystal Palace beats Leicester City 4-1. That was written weirdly. 2019 as well, Sri Lanka became the first Asian cricket team to clinch a test series in South Africa, chasing down 197 in the second test in Port Elizabeth. Kusal Mendes, 84 no. Oshana Fernandez, 75 no. 2019, Sudan's President Omar al-Bashir declared a national emergency, dismissing the federal government and sacking all state governors. That does not sound good. And again, it says here he's a dictator, Omar al-Bashir.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, well, it says here he's a dictator.
Yeah.
So. 2020, black U.S. stadium Ahmed Arbery was shot to death after being chased down by 2 white men in Brunswick, Georgia. Video of the killing emerges in May, prompting arrests. Needs more than arrests. Yeah. These two white men need to be freaking hunted down and shot. See how they like it. No, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
2020, a violent protest against new citizenship laws in Delhi, India, erupted, leaving at least 38 people dead over the next few days. Holy crap. Now, I seem to remember India was trying to do something about, disenfranchising the Muslim Indians or something. So, what is this here? It was enacted by the government of India on December 12, 2019. The move sparked widespread national and overseas ongoing protests against the act and its associated proposal of the National Register of Citizens. So actually, what is this? The National Register of Citizens. Let's look that up here really quick. It was meant to be a register of all Indian citizens. The NRC creation was mandated by the 2003 amendment, yada yada. The purpose was to document all the legal citizens of India so that the illegal immigrants can be identified and deported.
What a thought.
Okay. So it had been implemented for the state of Assam. So I'm all for this, actually. Yeah. So, and of course, violent protests by the left, of course. 2021, discovery of oldest Australian rock art, a 17,300-year-old painting of a kangaroo in Kimberley region, Western Australia, published in Nature Human Behavior. I gotta look this up.
17,000 years.
Yeah, I guess this is it right here. It's so faded, but you can see. I can see how that's a kangaroo. Well, wow, that's incredible. 17,000
on the original. I guess it was that after they clean it up, or are they showing you what it looks like, what it is?
Well, hold on a second. Let me open this again for you here. You can barely see right here. There's some lines. There's lines.
Yeah.
So, and this is an artist
Well, that's
drawing over.
yeah. What I'm asking is that an artist rendition, or did they clean it up?
No, that's
gotta be an artist.
That's an artist rendition.
Yeah.
But they're matching it line for line.
Yeah.
And there appears to be other lines over here.
Cracks and chunks around it are all the same.
Yeah.
As far as the piece.
Yeah. What else do we got here? 2021, 4 simultaneous prison riots left at least 62 people dead in Ecuador. Didn't we cover this? 4 prison riots happening at once? I'm sure we did.
We did. Something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it Ecuador?
I thought it was Venezuela, but maybe it was Ecuador.
No, Venezuela rings a bell.
Yeah.
But we talked a couple things about Venezuela.
Yeah. 2023, former Hollywood executive Harvey Weinstein was sentenced to 16 years in prison for struggle snuggle in Los Angeles, on top of the 23 years he is already serving for sex crimes. So
you talk about abusing power.
he should be executed, not You know, like I don't want my tax dollars going to his ass getting fed and being housed. Execute him. You know, bye. 2024, German Parliament voted to legalize cannabis, 407 votes to 226 with restrictions. I can work with that. All right. And that shall be it for the show. Once again, please check the underbar in the description below for any links that you may find interesting, including but not limited to all things Omni Coalition. A lot of history has and continues to be made on a daily basis. We can only bring you a portion, please check the underbar, description for our various sources for more. I mean, look at all the stuff that I'm scrolling through. Like this whole show, we only covered, what, 30%? Something like that?
I don't know.
It is up to you to find the artifacts of our history, but only if each individual reaches out with and for open mindfulness, with a yearn to learn, to see outside what you think you know, to grow and find enlightenment. We have to find common ground with those who see their opinions differently from your own and find a better way to be better to one another. For your dose of past events daily, we stream at 5 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, respectively. Please check the underbar for all of you and all of us. I'm Mayo Xander.
Golden Loon.
And you, viewer, are you. Thank you so much for coming in and watching. And until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate 5 thumbs, and subscribe. Toodles! Where's the button? There's the button. All right. Where's the other button? There's the other button.